Hello everyone, it's everyone's favourite noise producer, Yuki Noise Wall, and today we're gonna be like doing another tier list. Yay! Uh, I know everyone really enjoyed the last one. It definitely didn't create any controversy. Um, I know people are like, "Oh, tier lists are gay," and they're like cringe, and they're like a meme, and they're stupid. But I enjoy doing them, so I'm doing another one. This one is probably one that no one's going to be interested in except for my friend Nathan, who's also interested in Insane Clown Posse. So um, so I'm doing an Insane Clown Posse albums and EPs tier list because I really like Insane Clown Posse. I'm a juggalo. I enjoy their music. I think they make some of the best and most interesting music in the underground and of all time. Um, I know most people don't really like Insane Clown Posse. Think they're bad. I think those people are wrong and have only listened to like a few songs because they're good. No, really though. Um, all joking aside, I really like Insane Clown Posse. I think they're a great band, great fucking duo, whatever you want to call them. And they kind of redefined and changed my life with their music. So I thought it'd be cool to just go through all the albums and EPs and rank them and stuff, even as far back as like the Inner City Posse stuff. So there you go. We're gonna do this and go through them all. So and we're going through them in chronological order. I'm pretty sure I got the order right. If I didn't, I don't really care. But this is, I'm pretty sure, the right order. So first of all, we have "Enter the Ghetto Zone" by Inner City Posse. Uh, it's going in F tier. So like, this album is not very good. It's like their very first thing ever before they were even Insane Clown Posse, and it's not very good. Like the whole album was recorded on a um karaoke machine, and it's just not very good. Like, the production is terrible. The lyrical themes are not very interesting. It's like it's interesting as a piece of history because it's like the first thing they ever did. But I wouldn't really listen to this outside of like historical curiosity. Um, I do recommend it if you're interested in like the history of Insane Clown Posse, but otherwise you can probably skip this one. Yeah. And then we have Ghetto Territory, which is also going in F tier because it's basically everything I said about Enter the Ghetto Zone applies to Ghetto Territory as well. Wow, we're off to a great start. We've done the first two things and they're already F tier. I promise you, this is not what it's gonna be like for the whole fucking discography. I just, you know, they didn't get off to the best fucking start. Let's put it that way. Uh, then we have Basement Cuts, which I'm gonna put in. I fucked up the order actually, but it doesn't matter. I'll put it in E tier. Basement Cuts is when ICP really started to get kind of find their stride a little bit. It's still nothing amazing or super impressive, but it's definitely still much better than all this shit down here. So yeah, I would say this. You can give this one a look. It's all right. Um, it's a bit more kind of edgy and stuff, and it's a bit more. It's basically just kind of gangster rap as opposed to like horrorcore, but it's when they start kind of becoming less. Inner City Posse and more Insane Clown Posse, which is cool. And then this is the one that was supposed to be before this one. This is Intelligence and Violence, which I'm also putting in E tier. Not because it's particularly good, but I think the concept behind it is interesting, which is essentially there's two rappers on this EP, and one of them is like the intelligence side, and one is the violent side, and it's kind of like a prototype for like Violent J being like the happy clown and Shaggy Tudo being the angry evil clown. Um, it's interesting as a concept to see them both kind of bounce back and forth between one of them being intelligent and one of them being violent. It's pretty cool. It's a decent concept. Not too much is done with it, but I can respect it a bit more than anything down here solely because it's an interesting concept. So yeah, there's that. Then we have Dog Beats, which is the last Inner City Posse record, and it is going in E tier as well. The only really good track on this is the title track, Dog Beats, which is like super catchy and super memorable, and it is kind of a Juggalo classic. But the actual rest of it is not very memorable or very good. This is the last Inner City Posse album, EP, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's probably the best thing Inner City Posse did. So yeah, props for that, I suppose. Dog Beats is cool. Everything else is not very good. But give Dog Beats a listen. It's a catchy track. It's a nice little rap song. I enjoy it. Okay, so now we've got all the Inner City Posse shit out of the way. We're getting to the actual important stuff, which is the Insane Clown Posse stuff. So first we have Carnival of Carnage, which is the first Joker's card. It is a classic album. It is their first major concept album. It is the basis for everything that they do now. It's going in A tier, which is probably controversial, but I have a few reasons for it. First of all, okay, so like the intro track is really fucking good. Like the down, down, down shit. That's fucking, that is classic. That's a classic. Every juggalo knows that fucking tune, that fucking melody. Every juggalo fucking bumps that shit until the fucking cows come home. But the actual album itself is not very good. There's a Chris Rock feature on here. Oh my god, I said Chris Rock. There's a Kid Rock. Jesus. There's a Kid Rock feature on here where he says the N word. Kid Rock is a white person. So yeah, that's not a very good thing at all. That should never have happened ever. That is bad. Never say that if you're a white person. I'm kind of surprised that got on the album at all, to be honest, given Insane Clown Posse are incredibly anti-racist, and the entire Juggalo culture revolves around being against bigotry and hatred. But I guess it was early days or something, and they wanted that Kid Rock feature, and they got it. And it wasn't very good. So yeah, fuck Kid Rock and fuck that song. The Juggler is a good song though. It's a classic. The Juggler is good. Fucking Wizard in the Ghetto or whatever. That's a pretty good song too. Everything else is really fucking unmemorable, and I do not care for this album at all. I respect it for being the foundation of everything that the Dark Carnival is all about, but and I think it has a really cool kind of like lo-fi hip hop kind of aesthetic and quality to it that not a lot of other albums in the genre, even from the time, uh, sound like or can replicate. So, its production is interesting in the sense that it's this really lo-fi, kind of unique experimental production, but the actual songs themselves are not very good. The storytelling is really subpar for ICP standards, and yeah, I just do not really care for Carnival of Carnage. I genuinely like to forget that it exists sometimes because yeah, it's not a very good foundation. It's a foundation, but it's not a very good one, and it could be better if I'm being honest. Um, and next we have the EP Beverly Kills, which is going in D tier. Um, this album is considered a classic. I am not too big a fan of it, but it's definitely better than Carnival of Carnage. Um, it's got a bit more horrorcore. It's got more kind of stupid, wacky cartoon violence in it. It's a decent EP, but I also think it's very overrated. But it's still pretty good, I guess. It's all right. Don't have much else to say on it. Then we have Ringmaster, which is, in my opinion, the first Joker's card because it's the first one that's actually good, and it's going in B tier. Uh, Ringmaster is a classic. It is a really good album. Um, when it's really good, it's really good. Like songs like Mr. Johnson's Head. Mr. Johnson's Head is an amazing fucking horrorcore song. It's a classic horrorcore song. It is absolutely amazing. It's so edgy and stupid and dumb, but also really dark and almost creepy. And I really fucking I like it. I love it. It's a great song. I get Mr. Johnson's head in my book bag. It's fucking great. Um, I love it, and it's the song. When I first heard the song, it was the song that made me realize, yeah, damn, like they know how to tell a story in music when they try. Um, there's also like the intro track, which is really cool. There's Murder Go Round, which is another classic, and it's fucking great. It's a cool concept song about like a murder merry-go-round. It's fucking cool. I love the production on it with the gunshots and the hitting with the pipe and all that stuff. That it's just great. It's really like lo-fi, cool production. Unfortunately, the best parts of the album were outshone by some really dumb parts too. Songs like "Bugs on My Nuts," like it's just not funny. It's just stupid. Like I know they're just trying to be silly and goofy and funny, and it's funny in like a cringy, dumb way. And like I get Juggalo humor. Like I am a Juggalo, and I think Juggalo humor is really funny sometimes, and that a lot of people don't get it because they're stupid and don't think that we're self-aware people. But it, the nutsack jokes get really fucking old after a while, and that's one of the songs where I'm just like, it's not funny. And there's too many songs on this album that are like that, that are just fucking stupid and don't take themselves seriously. And it's an album where when it does take itself seriously, it's at its best. So that's why it can't get any higher than B, even if I really, really like it when it's good. But yeah, it is a good album. Very underrated hip hop album. One of the most important hip hop albums of its time, and definitely worth checking out. Next, we have the Terror Wheel, which is going in A tier, solely because it has Amy's in the Attic on it, which is one of the greatest horrorcore songs ever produced. I don't even care about the rest of the album really, but Amy's in the Attic is one of the greatest rap songs and one of the greatest horrorcore songs ever made. It is a lengthy art piece of amazing visual and audio storytelling. It is absolutely fantastic. That alone makes the Terror Wheel worth listening to. It's probably one of their best EPs as well. ICP's EPs aren't usually that great, but this is definitely a top tier EP. and it's probably their best one solely because of that track. It is fucking phenomenal. Check it out. Absolutely. Next we have Riddlebox, S tier. Riddlebox is easily one of the greatest ICP albums they've ever done. It is one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. It is one of the greatest horrorcore albums, one of the greatest albums ever made, in my opinion. The sampling is amazing. The production is absolutely fantastic and super creative, with a ton of unique samples and a ton of unique beats, and just it just sound nothing sounds like this. It's really great. And the storytelling is just phenomenal. Cemetery Girl was one of the darkest and most gruesome and most unsettling pieces of music I've ever listened to, but it's also just a really dark and twisted and almost sad story about someone who's lost someone they love and how they can't let go of that, to the point where they dig up their grave and, like, cuddle with them and stuff. And it's like it's disgusting and it's gruesome, but it's also what horrorcore is all about, and it's unsettling and even emotional at times. And I think that's really fucking cool. Toy Box is just wacky and cartoony, goofy violence, and it's great. Um, Old Evil Eye is a retelling of fucking what's his name? That just an old horror story. Um, that's really fucking cool. Yeah, like every single track on this album is absolutely fantastic. It's just great. The rapping is solid, the lyricism is fantastic, the production is amazing, the storytelling is on point. Riddlebox is an underground horrorcore hip hop classic, and it should honestly be in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame for how good it is, in my opinion. But hey, you know, mainstream rap people will never give it the attention it deserves. So check out Riddlebox; it is fantastic. Next we have Tunnel of Love, C tier. It's just right in the middle. It's cool. It's a kind of cool and funny concept, but it's just like it's catchy. And it's actually one of the better received ICP albums, but yeah, I think it's just kind of average. Like I don't really have much to say about it other than it's average. It's all right. It's good, I guess. It's better than the stuff below it anyway. It's worth checking out if you want a short little horrorcore release, I guess. Um, Next we have The Great Malenko, which is going in S tier as well. This is ICP's most popular album. It's their most famous one. It's the one that everyone knows because of the media circus, no pun intended, that surrounded it, where they were on a Disney's Hollywood Records label and they got kicked off, and it was in the press, and it was this big fucking story. And then everyone was like, "Oh, what the fuck's that?" And then they checked it out, and it was these two clowns rapping about killing people and shit. Everyone knows about the Great Malenko. It's got fucking, slashes on one of their songs. Alice Cooper does the intro. You know, it got a lot of features from like big people on it at the time. Um, and it's got Halls of Illusions and Under the Moon and fucking what's that fucking Hocus Pocus. You know, all the classics are on here. What is a Juggalo? Absolute classic. Like, every song on this album is a classic, and it's considered their best by many people for a reason. I don't think it's their best album, but I do think it is worthy of all the praise it gets. And I think it deserves to be in S tier. And it deserves to be popular. The most popular album that they've done, for sure. It's a great album. It's very good. One of the best rap rock, and horrorcore albums ever made. And you should absolutely check it out if you somehow haven't already. It is a classic. Absolute Juggalo underground classic. One of the best. Next we have Carnival Christmas. D tier. It's just mimi Christmas music. It's funny sometimes, but it's just a bunch of like stupid Christmas horrorcore bullshit with some juggalo humor. It's funny. At Christmas time, I'll stick it on for a laugh and enjoy it. Um, during the festive season, but otherwise, it's not something I particularly care for. But it's a good laugh, I guess. It's funny. Um, and the novelty of Insane Clown Posse doing a Christmas album is really funny. But yeah, it's not very good otherwise. Um, but still, yeah, you should check it out, I guess, if you want. It's funny. Um, then we have the Amazing Jekyll Brothers, S tier. Um, I know my friend Nathan thinks this is their best album. I wouldn't say it's their best album, but it's definitely one of their best. It's an S tier album for sure. It takes the sound of the Great Milenko and makes it even better. Basically, it's basically like if ICP did a Beastie Boys album, full of fucking rap rock bangers, but has the kind of horrorcore slant to it to keep it unique and interesting. Storytelling's great and funny and awesome. Um, fucking just everything about this album's great. Like fuck the world's on it. Fucking terrible is one of the best fucking social commentaries ever in rap. It's such a fucking terrible's great. I fucking love it. It's just how terrible everything in the world is basically, and I love it. And fuck the world is funny because like they just go through everything that they hate about the world, and then they end it with and fuck Violent J's and fuck myself because I'm just as bad as everyone else that I'm moaning about, which is funny and self-aware and satirical and stuff. Um, and it also ends with Nothing's Left, which is one of the greatest pieces of music I've ever heard. Nothing's Left is a song that is beautiful and emotional and it makes me cry, and it's one of those songs when you listen to it, it will change it. If you resonate with it, it will change your life. Like, and that's what it did for me. Nothing's Left is a life changing piece of music. It is beautiful. It's basically what their song Miracles was, only less cringy and before Miracles happened. And yeah, it broke me when I first heard it. It's a beautiful song. And it's just amazing. It just ends with these fucking sweeping guitars and this beautiful line of "On the day when the wagons come, I just pray you'll let me on." It's fucking beautiful. I absolutely love it, and that alone makes this album an S tier album, in my opinion. Um, Even if you don't fucking care about the album, I suggest listening to Nothing's Left. It's fucking beautiful. It's a fantastic song. One of the greatest pieces of music ever made, in my opinion. Definitely check it out. Uh, Next we have Bizarre and Bizarre, which is kind of a double album, so I'm just gonna put them in the same tier. Uh, D tier. I don't really care about these albums. They're filler albums, and they were basically made so that ICP could end their record contract and release their final Joker's card on their own label. That's the only reason these albums exist. Most of the songs are unfunny rap rock shit that I don't care about. But Take Me Away is a good song, and My Axe is a good song. Take Me Away is a song that um, I really would love them to play live if I ever went to see them live because it's such a good song for like a live performance. And My Axe is just basically a better version of Eminem's Sleepwalker. Um, it's great. But everything else is kind of and then fucking Tilt-A-Whirl. Tilt-A-Whirl was alright. But everything else is fucking shit. I don't care about Bizarre at all. Really boring album. Otherwise, outside of the songs I mentioned, it's just not really interesting at all. Yeah. um, then we have The Wraith, which is going in S tier. I love The Wraith. It is a celebration of everything about Juggalo culture. It is a wonderful album. It is incredibly feel good and emotional. It is an extremely powerful and beautiful piece of art. Um, People always make fun of the unveiling for being like a, the whole the carnival is God revolution and stuff. I think those people are fucking stupid and incredibly misguided and completely missed the fucking point of the album, which is the album. It's not saying that juggalos in the ICP are a fucking Christian thing. It's more about spirituality and about the world and how the world, when we die, we want to have lived a life of positivity and love and goodness and have done well for ourselves. It's more of a moral thing than it is a moral spirituality thing than it is God, lol, Christians. And I feel like people really, really misunderstood it. And I'm sure Violent J's phrasing in the song did not help, but it's not a religion thing. They're not Christians. Juggalos aren't a Christian cult or whatever. It's just, the carnival is all about positivity and living your best life and being the best person you can be to the world, to yourself, and to those around you. This album is a celebration of everything positive about Juggalo culture. It's about family. It's about, having a place to belong. It's about feeling like you fit in somewhere. And when you're someone like me and other juggalos who don't fit in anywhere, who don't have a place to belong, when you listen to an album like this and it tells you it's okay, you do belong here with us. We understand you, we get you, we're here for you. The carnival is here and we're never going anywhere. We're always here. We're a family. We're one big family and we love you. And like that is what this album is to me and what it means to me. And the fact that, Twisted and Anybody Killer and all that are on the album as well just makes it feel that more familial and like complete and just beautiful. It reminds me of a time when the Juggalo family was strong and we were all together. And now we're all divided because of the beef, but that's a whole other fucking rant for another time. The Wraith is probably one of my favourite albums ever. I love it. It's great. Walk Into the Light is one of probably the best intro ICP's ever done. It's super emotional. It's just a great way to end the original deck, to end the original story. It's like everything we've built towards over the last X amount of years. It's come to this, and we're here. We're still standing, and the haters were wrong. That's what this album is. It's Juggalos are still here, and look, 20 years after this album came out, we're all still here. We're still listening to ICP, so, they were fucking right. Fucking amazing album. Listen to it. It's fucking beautiful. It's emotional. It's wonderful. It's great. Next, we have The Cam. Boring. Don't care about it. Not very good. Honestly, I don't even really remember this EP at all. It's very forgettable. The only reason it's not an F tier is because it's probably better than these two. I have listened to this like 3 times. I don't care about it. It sucks. Um, and we have Hell's Pit. That's another S tier album. It's the opposite of The Wraith, Shangri-La. It's basically an incredibly dark, twisted, evil album. It's the darkest album ICP's ever done. It's probably the darkest album in all of hip hop. It's incredibly experimental and with its production, very experimental, very dark, very edgy, very scary, very violent, very fucked up. It's not for the faint of heart. The album is so dark that Violent J himself can barely bring himself to actually perform the album or its songs live because of how fucked up he was when he created it. Um, every single song is unsettling, dark, evil. It's horrorcore at its best, and it's an album that's supposed to capture the horrors of hell, and it does one hell of a good job at doing that. It is absolutely fantastic. One of their best works, and one of their most underrated works too. Definitely listen to Hell's Pit. If you're into underground hip hop at all, or experimental hip hop, you need to listen to this. It is a must listen. I don't care if you hate ICP or if you hate Juggalo shit. Listen to this. If you remotely care about experimental hip hop, you owe it to yourself to listen to Hell's Pit. It's a masterpiece. It's fantastic. It's great. And it is literally nightmare inducing shit. It's fucking great. Eye of the Storm, same as the Cam. Don't care about it. Really don't remember it. Not very good. um, the Tempest, D tier. It's their first non-concept album, the first non-Joker's card really. That isn't the Bizarre albums. I think it's really boring. It's very uninteresting. I don't really care about it. Ride the Tempest is alright. Everything else is fucking not very good. I don't like it very much. And I know most ICP fans feel the same way as I do. It's not very good. It's not worth listening to, in my opinion, really. But it's better than all of these. So let's go in D. This is a controversial one for me, but Bang Pow Boom is going in S. I know Nathan and many others will disagree with me on this. That's fine. Bang Pow Boom is probably my favourite ICP album. It is one of my favourite albums of all time. It's one of the only albums I have on vinyl because I love it that much. I fucking love this album. I love every song on it, even the fucking meme ones. I think the storytelling is at its best here. I think the concept of Bang Pow Boom is great. Songs like To Catch a Predator, Miracles, yes, Miracles. Miracles is a good song, I don't care what anyone says. It's cringy, but it is incredibly self-aware. And I feel like Reddit neckbeard atheists ruined it with the memes and shit. It's a good song. It's a song about the beauty of the world, and it is wonderful. And I love it. It's a song about viewing the world through a child's eyes, and seeing it as a wonderful place, and I think that's really beautiful. And I don't care what anyone says. It's a great song. It's catchy as fuck. Um, Cringy, but it's a good song. I don't care what anyone says. Um, Bang Pow Boom, the title track, is an amazing way to end the album. It's a fucking surf rock rap fucking tune. It is fucking amazing. It's fucking high energy. It's so cool. It's great. It's just so fucking awesome. Um, to Catch a Predator, like I said, absolute classic, perfect fucking song. Samples Chris Hansen and everything. It's great. Very violent and over the top, but very cool story. I Found the Body is basically a Weekend at Bernie's, but horrorcore. Fucking cool. Really like it. Fawn's Pond is super dark and edgy and creepy, and the rapping on that fucking track is phenomenal. Um, Verily, very scary, very dark, very creepy. Horrorcore at its finest. I could go on every day, all day. This whole album is fantastic. There's not a single bad track on it. I love it. I don't care. Fuck anyone that says otherwise, including you, Nathan. Fuck you. It's a fucking good album. I don't care what you say. You're fucking wrong. You're wrong. Uh, I love you though. Really. um. Okay. Mighty Death Pop. Eh, because I like the concept behind it, which is about if you risk your life doing stupid shit, you're gonna die. Basically, don't be stupid. I think that's a fucking good message, and I think it's a good album. The title track is amazing and samples Hot Chocolate, which is fun as fuck. Scream is funny with Tech Nine and Hobson, even though I don't like Hobson. Tech Nine fucking carries that track. Fucking amazing. Uh, Jesus. Fucking Night of the Chainsaw, absolute classic. I Hate Her to Death. Just there's so many good songs on here. One of the better albums of the second deck. I really really like it. Marvelous Missing Link Lost, B tier. It's basically Hell's Pit with a kind of dubstep um like production to it. which is kind of cringy sometimes. It was produced by Otis from Axe Murder Boys, who is definitely a better producer than he is a rapper. Shame he left Psychopathic with all the beef, but yeah, the production is probably the most interesting thing on here. There are some really good songs on here, like "Falling Apart," which is really good. "Apocalypse" is pretty good. "Shocked" is alright. Everything else is kind of like the first half of the album is really dark and edgy and like awesome, and then the second half just becomes fucking stupid and goofy and not even that great. Like the neighbors are fighting is fucking boring. Uh, I'll keep my hatchet isn't very interesting. Explosions is just memey stupid shit. Um, yeah, it kind of falls apart in the second half, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. But it is what it is. Next we have Marvelous Missing Link Found, which is going right in the middle, in C tier. It's a more positive, upbeat album, which I kind of appreciate. Okay is a nice song. Um, Pineapple Pizza is kind of funny. I Fucked a Cop is not funny though, and neither is I don't know. There's another one. It's not very good. I don't fucking remember half the tracks on here. Time is a nice track at the end. I really like that how it ends things. That's quite a nice track. It's got a lot of meaning behind it, but it's unfortunately weighed down by a bunch of mediocre, unfunny pop rap songs that aren't that interesting. Um, and Lost at the Carnival is good, but it's also very fucking out of place because this is a positive, upbeat album for the most part, and then you just have this creepy horrorcore song about a kid who dies at the carnival, um, looking for his parents, and then at the end of the song he realizes he's dead, and he's in hell, um, which is a great concept for a song, and it's a cool story, but why is it on here? Like, wouldn't it be better on Link Lost? I don't know. It's a bit strange. It's just in the middle of this overly positive, upbeat pop rap album. But yeah, right in the middle. House of Wax. It's the same. It goes in C tier. It's all right. It's average. It's pretty decent. Um, I don't really have much else to say about it, to be honest. The same goes for Phantom, which is also C tier. Phantom is a dark, spooky kind of horror album. I think it was for Halloween. It's all right. Um, could be better. Not very memorable, but it's okay. Then we have Fearless Fred Fury, which is going in A tier. That's probably a bit controversial, but I generally think that Fearless Fred Fury is one of the better albums they've released in the last few years. Um, Fury's a fucking great track. I Like It Rough is a fucking dark, evil, like it's gross track. It's very gross, but it's great. Freedom is amazing. This whole album is really, really solid, really, really good. It's one of their best efforts in recent years. Um, I do wish it was a little bit better, but a lot of juggalos were kind of mixed on this one. But I view it if you're not down with Fearless Fred, ICP is probably not for you anymore, because this is what it is now. Um, I think it's really, really solid, and it's great, and it's one of the better concepts in recent years. Definitely worth checking out. Some more modern ICP, and it is very, very good. Flip the Rat, on the other hand, which is the companion EP of this album, is not very good. It's average. There's not. The Dog is a pretty catchy track. Everything else is very boring and unforgettable. I don't really care about it. I was very disappointed with Flip the Rat. I expected more. There's gonna be a bit of a weird break in the middle of the video here because I tried to I was recording and my fucking cat decided to interrupt the recording. I think a bunch of other shit came up and I never got a chance to really go back to recording this. But luckily the tier list saves, so I don't have to start again. And I'm not fucking recording all that shit again. So you just need to put up with the jankiness, the janky break in the video, I guess. I also added the Hell Cellar EP, because I kind of forgot that was a thing. What I'll actually do is I'll put it here. Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, I'll talk about that as well now. But yeah, so I was talking about Flip the Rat. Like, Flip the Rat is just a really disappointing EP overall, because it was like marketed as like this special thing. Oh, if you buy Fearless Fred Fury from, I think it's if you bought it from either The Gathering or when it came out or something. I don't remember the specifics, but it was like, oh, if you buy the album physically, you'll get Flip the Rat for free. And you know, it's this whole side character who like ties into the character of Fearless Fred, and you know, the albums are like companion albums, and that's really cool, and yay. And then I I didn't listen to it when it came out because I don't buy CDs, and I also live in the UK, so getting anything Juggalo related is like a fucking nightmare. So this when this finally came out on streaming services for free, I was like, oh shit, I can finally listen to this album without having to get like a shitty YouTube rip or something. And it was just really disappointing. Like, didn't live up to the hype at all. I feel like we don't really get an idea of what the character of Flip the Rat actually is, what the whole point of him is, how he ties into Fearless Fred. Honestly, the album, the EP, just kind of feels like a bunch of outtakes that didn't make the cut for Fearless Fred. And none of them were particularly great, except for The Dog, which is an entertaining and funny and pretty cool track, but everything else is kind of boring, and I don't much care for it. This is also the only fucking album I can ever seem to find on vinyl, which is even more annoying because I want to get all the main ICP albums on vinyl, and every time I go to the Psychopathic store, this one's always the one that's in stock. None of these are ever fucking in stock, except Bang Pow Boom one time, and maybe the Terror Wheel, but nothing else is ever in fucking stock. And then, and I it's like the Psychopathic website is like the only fucking place you can get these for at an affordable price, brand new. Because you go to Amazon and it's like $200 fucking dollars for a fucking Great Milenko LP on vinyl. I'm not fucking paying that for a vinyl. Fuck off, you know. And then like I don't want to buy it second hand off someone because I want it brand new. I want it untouched. So yeah, it's just kind of pisses me off, and I'm like, let's go see what Psychopathic Records has in stock, and it's always fucking Flip the Rat. It's never anything else, and that kind of pisses me off. It's not really got anything to do with the album, but I'm just ranting, I guess. So yeah, that's Flip the Rat. It's middling. After that, we have Hell Cellar, which I'm actually gonna put in B tier. I think this is the best EP ICP's done outside of the Terror Wheel, mostly because of the context behind it. So basically, it's a bunch of stuff that was supposed to be on Hell's Pit. Basically, it's lost recording sessions from Hell's Pit that were never found for years, and then one day they just fucking found them in a box and were like, let's release this. Most of it, or I believe all of it, I don't know if all of it, but most of it, if I remember right, is just Violent J rapping, and it's some of the most dark, fucking heavy shit they've ever done. And apparently the reason this was never put on Hell's Pit is it was too dark and too fucking unsettling. And yeah, it's very dark. It's probably some of the darkest ICP material you'll ever hear. It's pretty fucking great. And yeah, the only reason it's not higher is because it's basically a collection of unfinished tracks that have never been completed. So it's essentially unfinished music, but for what it is, it's fucking amazing, and it is definitely one of the best EPs. It's a great piece of history, and it's definitely worth checking out for sure. not as good as Hell's Pit, because obviously Hell's Pit is complete, but it's like almost like more Hell's Pit content, and I crave for more of that because ICP has never been as dark as Hell's Pit, and they're probably never gonna be as dark as that ever again. So seeing Hell's Cellar was a real fucking treat for me. I really fucking enjoyed it. And it just so happened that they found it around the time of like the 20th anniversary, I believe, or was it the 10th? I think it was the 10th anniversary of Hell's Pit that they actually found it, which I thought was really fucking cool. So yeah, definitely check it out. Next we have ICP's House Party Peep Show, also known as the You Produce EP. And I'm going to put that in B tier as well. This is a really interesting EP. Basically, what they did is they did a contest on Twitch, I think, and they were like, "We want you guys to make beats and send them in, and then we'll take those beats that you've produced for us, and we'll make a song concept out of it." And what's interesting is the beats came from like a whole bunch of people. Some were like professional producers in the Juggalo scene, some were just like fans who just made some fucking beats. But what's cool is like every single track is like unique and has its own style because of that. You've got some trap stuff, you've got some general hip hop kind of sound stuff, and you get kind of psychedelic sound stuff. It's all like everything sounds different because it's every single track is by a different producer, which is a really cool gimmick. And ICP haven't exactly been varied in their producers recently, ever especially since Mikey Clark stopped producing with them for whatever reason. Who I hope comes back because Mikey Clark is like the third member of ICP at this point, and the fact he's not been on an album in fucking forever is criminal. But that's a whole other rant for another time. But yeah, every track here is like super like interesting and different, which is cool. And the concepts and storytelling for each of these tracks is also really fucking great. Like, we have a lot of good stuff here. Like, we have fucking. We've got a song about a guy who, like, a cartoon character who, like, comes to life and goes on a fucking crazy, like, horror rampage, cartoony violent rampage, which is really fucking interesting and cool. And I love that idea. It's a cool concept for a song, and it's straight up like cartoonish, like horrorcore shit. We've got another track about like a guy who gets a remote where he can like pause and fast forward and rewind people and shit, and that's not like a new concept. Obviously, we've had like movies that have done that and stuff, but it's got like an ICP kind of horrorcore like comedic twist to it, which makes it just really cool. And every track's like this. This is probably one of the best EPs they've dropped, especially recently. Um, so yeah, definitely worth checking this one out. Solely for the concept alone, I'd love them to do a second one like this, like a follow up. That'd be really cool. Oh fuck off. Apparently did not save the order of things in the tier list when I reloaded it. So yeah, so this is the actual order, right? Okay. Next, we have Yum Yum's Lure. C tier. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be controversial or not. I don't actually hate this album. A lot of people hated it. I remember when this dropped, people were very excited for it because they hadn't, they've been hyping up Yum Yum for fucking ages, and this was supposed to be a sneak peek of the album. Ended up not being that and just kind of being its own thing. I remember fans were very disappointed. I remember hearing one of my fucking Juggalo homies. He actually said that this was the worst thing that ICP has ever done, like ever. I think that's an exaggeration, like a huge exaggeration. It's not that bad. It is disappointing. Um, like but it's all right. It's decent. It's okay. I think Loyalty is a really fucking cool track. I really like the lyricism and I like the production and all that stuff. I think it's fine. I don't see the issue with Loyalty. I think Loyalty's a great song. I think a lot of people were hoping this would be like a twisted diss or something, and it was more just like a general thing about being loyal. So I think that's why people were disappointed with it. I'm glad ICP's not doing that kind of shit because Twisted's doing it, and it's ruining their fucking catalogue of music entirely because every single album is just ICP, ICP, fuck ICP, they suck, we hate them. And I think that's fucking gay, and I think it's really fucking childish. And I think it really bogs down their creativity and their music. So I'm glad that ICP's not doing that. But again, that's another rant for another fucking time, I suppose. But yeah, Loyalty's a pretty good track. There's a fucking collab here with Alien Ant Farm, which is really funny. Um, so yeah, right, okay, so fucking yeah, that whole idea is really funny. And it's a good song though. It's catchy as fuck. I enjoy it a lot. Um, there's like a song called Clown Heads at the end, which is interesting and really weird, and it's like an advertisement for like it's almost like an advertisement for these fucking paintings that they were releasing called the Clownhead paintings. But the track itself is also just really interesting and like has cool production. So I don't know, like it's not amazing. It is a little disappointing. It's a little short too, and I am glad that this is not what Yum Yum ended up being. But I mean, it's not bad. It's all right. I don't I don't particularly hate it that much. It's fine. It's better than Flip. It's better than everything else on this tier. It's like high C, low B, I'd say. But yeah, it's fine. Next we have Yum Bedlam, which is the latest LP and the latest Joker's card by ICP. Where do I want to put this? Oh, do I want to put it up here? I can't decide. Fuck it. I'm putting it in A tier. I don't fucking care if you disagree with me, Nathan. I don't care if the Juggalos disagree with me. Yum Bedlam is fucking great. It's one of the best things they've released in recent years. It's like ICP took pop rap, took like kind of mainstream trap and made it good. Um, and I don't even think it's that much of a sellout album, to be honest. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, this is what happens with ICP sold out and went mainstream. No, it's really not. Like, come on, guys. Fucking Wretched's on this. Wretched is one of the best fucking tracks they've dropped in forever. It's dark, it's spooky, it's evil, it's fucking violent and gory and disgusting. That's what ICP is. Wretched is what ICP is supposed to be. And it's also a case where Violent J actually raps really well and actually raps circles around a lot of these fucking big name rappers who think they're hot shit. People say, oh, ICP can't rap. Listen to Wretched. Yes, they can. That Wretched is a fucking amazing song. Violent J is a fucking fantastic lyricist. He's a great rapper, and he kicks ass on Wretched. Absolutely phenomenal track alone. When I heard that song drop, I was like, I'm excited for this album now. This is great. Fucking Here Comes the Carnival. That is one of the best opening tracks ICP has ever done to an album in forever. I absolutely love that fucking track. The whole Here Comes the Carnival. It's fucking amazing. It's so good. It reminds me of like the old days when like ICP was all about family and like embracing your weirdness and being fucking awesome and being a juggalo. And that is a true juggalo anthem, that song. And I think it's really sad that a lot of people just don't feel it. It's they don't feel the love. They just don't feel the album, and it's a shame because it's great. We have Carnival of Lights on here, another fantastic fucking song. Um, but the song I really want to talk about is Gangsta Code. Gangsta Code is amazing. Gangsta Code is the best track on this entire album. It's the best song ICP have done in forever. And what makes it even funnier is they actually took a beat from one of Boondocks' songs that Violent J originally created and gave to Boondocks. And at the start of the song, Violent J's like, I'm taking my fucking beat back. Fuck you. And then he makes a better song with that beat. And it's amazing. It's so good. The fucking hook on that song, like, it actually makes me, like, emotional. It's so fucking powerful. It's so fucking amazing. It's just amazing. I just love it. I could geek out about Gangsta Code forever. It's just a true fucking Juggalo anthem. If I was to ever get someone to try and listen to like modern ICP, that's the song I'd send them. It's fucking great. It's amazing. Like the whole and the storytelling there is great too. The plot twist at the end is amazing. It's just a great fucking storytelling conceptual track, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. Um, fucking was it Queens is a great diss track about fucking I think it's about Twisted. I don't know if it is. But it's a fucking funny track anyway, and it's great and it's catchy. Um, just the whole album is really solid, and I think yeah, I think he's actually maybe a bit better than Fearless Fred if I'm being honest. But I know that's probably really controversial, and a lot of people are not going to agree with me on that. But yeah, Yum Bedlam's great. When I first listened to it, I was a little bit, it's all right. But after listening to it multiple times in the car, I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite ICP albums, and it gives me a lot of hope for the future. Um, I'm I'm more positive about ICP and what they're doing now than I was a few years ago when I was a bit let down with some of the stuff, especially after um fucking Yum Yum's Lure. This is like phenomenal. It's a fucking great album. I don't care what anyone says. It's one of the best albums of the 2020s, and it's an easy 9 out of 10. And everyone who, if you even remotely care about hip hop music, you must, and you are like, into like current hip hop, like if you care about what's happening in hip hop right now and you're not listening to this, you're missing out, and you are not listening to the things that matter. This is a fucking great album. Get it on. Okay, next we have these two EPs, which are like the Seeds of Yum Yum EPs. We are supposed to have a third one by now. We don't have it. I don't know what the fuck happened there. It was supposed to be out in October. It was supposed to be out in Halloween. It is now December and we still haven't heard anything about what's happening with that. So I don't fucking know. So I can only talk about the first two. So we have fucking Wicked Vic, B tier. Wicked Vic's great. It's short, sweet. Not every track hits, but the ones that do are fucking excellent. This is one of the best EPs they've dropped in a long time. Um, Fucking Hyde Park Peddler is an amazing, fucking funny as fuck song. There's a cover of Hungry Like the Wolf on it, which is really fucking funny and stupid and unexpected, and it's great. Fucking what the intro is great. Just the album is great. It's a good little EP. It's solid. It's not fucking amazing or anything, but it's for an EP, it's really good. It's short and sweet. Most of the tracks are good. I actually wrote a review for this on Rate Your Music. It was one of the last ones I wrote before I got banned. I gave it a 9 out of 10, I think. So yeah, that's all I've really got to say about Wicked Vic. It's one of the best EPs from one of the best things that came out this year, and I'm probably going to talk about that in more detail when I do my favorite things of 2022 video, which is coming after this probably. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Then we've got Pug Ugly, the Stink Bud. I'm putting that in C tier. Pug Ugly's nowhere near as good as Wicked Vic. It's still alright. The main track is pretty cool. There's like a remix of a fucking track from Yum Bedlam on it, which is alright. Um, I don't even remember the rest of it. I've only listened to it a handful of times, but it's alright. It's fine. It's not like the greatest thing they've ever done. It's not the worst thing they've ever done. It's not as good as fucking Yum Yum's Lure, but it's alright. It's fine, I guess. Um, I'm very excited to see what the final, like Woe the Weeping Weirdo, the final seed's gonna be like, because this was a fucking pleasant surprise, and this was decent. So I'm hoping the last one is like either somewhere in the middle or just like blows these two out of the water. But we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see by the end of this year, but I'm not hopeful. And yeah, that's it. That's the Insane Clown Posse albums and EPs tier list. I am pretty sure I got everything. Might have forgotten something. I probably have, because I'm a fucking idiot, but yeah, that's my thoughts on all of the ICP albums and EPs that I remembered to put in the list. Uh, wow. It's probably not the most exciting video in the world, is it? Especially because none of you people fucking listen to this shit. But I know Nathan will appreciate it. Oh, and yeah, and I also learned in between recording sessions that I know that Matthew Mump is looking forward to this. So yeah, there you go, Mumpmander. Have fun listening to me ramble about Insane Clown Posse for like an hour and being interrupted by my cat several times. Yeah. If you want to do your own one of these, go for it. I don't really care. I'd like to see what Nathan's tier list is actually. Hey Nathan, you should do this. I want to see what yours is, and we can argue about it in fucking Twitter DMs for like 4 hours, and I can tell you how fucking wrong you are and how I'm the only true juggalo in the world who knows the objective facts about what makes ICP good and bad. Yeah. Anyway, I'll maybe do like a Twisted one as well, even though I fucking hate everything Twisted's doing right now. But I'll maybe do one anyway. And that's it. That's the end of the video. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. I love you. Bye. Bye. Whoop whoop.